Today, we're just going to do a few of these problems. It's only 9. We'll do 3 together.
Oh, wait, I need my graph.
Of graphing. It's the same stuff we did yesterday. Same stuff, except once you find all that information, then you got to graph it. Okay. So, first we got to do, what's the first thing we always do?
Negative B.
Negative B,
yeah, that's what it is.
over 2A.
Would it be 0?
It would be 0. All right. A shortcut is if there is no x on here, it's going to be 0, which means the vertex is 0, 0. So what we got to do now is, that's the vertex, but we do got to find a couple more points.
Do we got to make a table like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we plug 1 in, y is 1. If we plug negative 1 in, well, we don't need to do that. Remember, we can just mirror. If we put 2 in, it's
2. No.
4.
Oh.
2 squared.
We have to do that ABC thing.
Yeah, we already did. It's 0 over
ABC.
2, which is 0. It's x equals 0. We just did it because we knew it, right? So this is the basic one, like I started off when we first learned this. The vertex is at 0, 0. It does say to label the vertex. So you should put 0, 0 there. And then we just got to plot 1, 1. And remember, the line x equals 0 is the axis of symmetry, so all we got to do is flip it over to the other side. And then 2, 4. And again, flip it over to the other side. And that's enough to show us how the parabola is going to go. Then you draw the U in there.
Do we have to label the vertex?
Yes.
There it says.
Now I'm going to skip around a little bit so you can
52.
do yours. I'm going to do, actually, 50 is a fraction 1. So I'm going to do 50. Okay, in 50, A is 2, B is negative 1. So when we do negative B over 2A, we get negative, negative 1, which turns to 1. 2 times A is 4. So that's going to be the vertex. So we got to plug 1/4 in here. You get negative 1.125. So, on your graph, now, when it's 1/4, well, we could just, sometimes what you could do to make it easier to graph is, like, I could count this as a half and just label that as 1, because then it's a little easier to see where a 1/4 is right there. Or if you just count this as 1, then you just estimate 1/4 is right there. Which do you want to do?
Half.
Half, okay. So then 1/4 would be right there. So just put a 1 over on the second spot to show that that's a half. And then it's down 0.125. So if we do the same on this, if that's a 1, 0.125 is just still right below right there. So then, what's a good number to plug in? 1. So we plug 1 in here, and we get 2, take away 1 is 1. So at 1 over, 1 up. And then you gotta flip it over. So if you count, this is a half a space and a fourth of a space. So this is a fourth, and this would be a half. Because remember we went by halves? So it's the same distance on each side.
But how far would be?
Here it's, from here to here is a half, and then a fourth. So this is a fourth, and then another half right there. So you just gotta go the same distance across. Oh, we forgot, remember you gotta label. So just down here somewhere you put 1/4 and negative 0.125. Now, this will probably be enough because if I put 2 in, I get 8, take away 2, I get 6, which you can put on there. It's just since we went by halves, 6 is going to be way up here, right? So that just tells you, you don't need to make it bigger, that just tells you it's going to go up quick. So that's enough to show how it's going to go. So sometimes you only need 3 points, sometimes you can put 5 under. Okay, one more, let's see, where's the fraction? 6, 6, 58 is not a fraction, but it's a big number one, so let's do that.
So then you do it?
Okay, so A is -4, B is 32, C is -20. So negative B over 2A is -32 over 2 times -4 is -8. So that simplifies to 4. So then we gotta plug 4 in here. And I get 44. So when we graph this, everyone have this one? The easiest thing to do would be to leave some room up top. This is going to open down. If you go by 4s, you would need 11 spots, yeah. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So at 4 over, 44 up is the vertex. So you'd label that. Now, 0 would be an easy one to put in because it's just right there. If you put 0 in there, does anyone need a calculator to figure out what you get? -20. Because 0 will turn this to 0 and that to 0. So, negative 20, you don't need to put this on, I'm just showing you. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 would be way down here. So we know it's going to drop quick. So what I would do is put 2 in, just to see where the next 2 points are. So plug 2 in. So you don't need to plot this. You don't need to make it longer down. You can if you want. We get 28. So 2 over, which is halfway because we went by 4s, and 28 up, that'd be 7 marks. And then you got to flip it over to here. That would be 8, so it'd be right in the middle. Because if we drew the axis of symmetry, it'd go like that. So that's enough to show us it goes like that and like that. Okay, so you got 6 left.